Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to speak about the Micheal B Jordan. I think it's Laurel. I think that's her name. The incident where pretty much they were on the red carpet at his show Creed. I think it's three. And in previous, I think 2 years ago or so, there's a podcast where a viral clip went where they were calling him Corny, and pretty much saying how in high school he was like, I guess he would bring his headshots to school, his modeling headshots, and pretty much because they were in Newark and they grew up in Newark, New Jersey, he really didn't fit in. Just, that's some street shit. He wasn't really into that. So he was the corny kid. And what's interesting is the topic pretty much came up is what is your opinion of corny, and how does corny look in the black community versus how does it look in other communities, and would you consider yourself corny? So I'll pretty much answer my own questions because I'm talking to myself, obviously. So I would consider myself corny based on the what's the word? Based on the opinions. If you were to go off the black community, I'm definitely corny. So I get where the perspective comes from, especially if you grew up in like the hood and you never did drugs. Like, I don't even smoke, so that's corny in itself based off most people's standards. And the fact that like I've never been to jail, I don't have any kids. I guess that's like a rite of passage for some of you. I don't know. Kids outside of marriage at that, but to each his own. So a lot of people, I think, in the black community, we're so backwards that down is up and up is down. So corny in the black community would be, you grew up in Newark, which is a very bad area. You've never been to jail or committed crimes or shot up somebody's house. That's corny. But the people that did go to jail, did have kids, they do all this goofy shit, they're considered as real and considered as the model citizens, I guess, like who you want to be like. And it's just very interesting that they were pretty much almost like a backhanded compliment, saying he was such a nice, corny guy, and how lame cornballs are in style now that he's up millions of dollars. Like, why does it take him making 20 million or 50 million dollars before he stops being corny? And I think that's a great conversation. So my opinion on this is this: I think in the black community we're so backwards that to a lot of us, the people that we should model ourselves after are not the ones that we do, and the ones that we should shun and shame are the ones that are like looked up to for some reason. So the dudes that go to school and come back with a degree are the cornballs. The dudes that go to jail and come back with a stab wound from his last knife fight or the time he got shanked are looked at as like role models and idols, and people look up to these people and for some reason want to be like these people. And I'm not even talking about the big time drug dealers that was getting money. It makes sense why kids look up to them. They were getting money, and I think any kid that aspires to get money, you're just thinking about it in different ways until you can find a legit way to make it. If that's what you see, then I get it. But I'm not even talking about those. Most dudes in the hood that sell drugs are not making a lot of money. I know they would like you to believe that, but that's not the case. So really, you're standing on a corner in the cold or the heat selling dime bags when you could just go get a job and make the same amount, if not more money. Because most of them don't have penthouse suites. They're not driving fancy cars. Some of these niggas is bums with no car, live with their mother, doing all type of goofy ass shit. But yet the person that made it out of Newark, New Jersey, and again, I want to say it, if you know anything about Newark, New Jersey, that's not a good area. For him to make it out of there and then to get to where he is now, and for them, and she even admitted in the viral video, I'm going to post it or clip it and add it to this so you'll see it. In the video, she even says, we used to make fun of him, da-da-da, it just was what it was. And of course, that's high school. I'm not trying to be here acting like because you got made fun of in high school, your life is over, or he should still be mad to the thing, which he does have the right to. But that's neither here nor there. Everybody got clowned in high school. I got clowned in high school. A lot of people got clowned in high school. It is what it is. I mean, most of the people that were like the most popular people in high school, when you see them now, they're burnt out. and I'm not sure where you're from, but burnt out means like fizzled out. Their life peaked in high school, a lot of them. So I don't really take it too personal if I see people that made fun of me in middle school or high school. Chances are I'm doing better than them, fuck more better than them. Like my life is just better than them. So I don't really get mad or also I was cool with a lot of people, I guess. I don't know. My high school wasn't like torment and bullying, so I didn't really get that experience. I got made fun of course. I got clowned, but that was just regular shit. Everybody got clowned, so I think it was kind of different. But for him, what stood out was that you make all this money, and then as a black man to be called corny, it obviously like bothered him. And one of the things I find funny is that they were pretty much saying he's not corny anymore, almost because of the accolades and all the things he got is what made him less corny. But what I don't understand is, in my mind, even before the Black Panther movie, where he was who he was and he got all this fame and wealth, he shouldn't have been corny then. He was still a good-looking dude, because based on what women say, he's the sexiest man alive, I guess. I'm not into men, so I don't know, but that's what they're saying. So obviously, to get sexiest man alive, regardless of whatever spectrum you're on or however metric you're using to judge him, he would be an attractive man by any standard if he's the sexiest man alive, right? Cool. So he's not ugly. He can dress. And it's not like he's a nerd. The nigga's in good shape. He's not fat. He's not out of shape. He's in good shape, but yet this is what our community wants to pick and choose to talk down upon and almost make this out to be like cornball-like behavior, making it out the hood the right way, and then making something of yourself in a legal way that makes you millions and millions of dollars and has you literally being drooled over by women of all races, creeds, colors, size, what doesn't matter. He's like a sex symbol damn near now. And that's corny. So I just feel like in our community, a lot of us really are just backwards. If you look at the the Willie Lynch letter, I just think this is really deeply rooted in some other stuff. And of course I don't want to go into it because again, this is just bullying, and I don't really want to act like what he's going through is something worse than what anybody else went through. I think it is what it is. It sucks, but that's just life. And I think and I don't think this is an excuse to say, well, see, that's why he don't mess with black girls. One, we were all made fun of at some point in our lives, or you were the one doing the bullying. It was either one way. Either you got bullied or you were the bully. I was not the bully. I never liked bullies, but I was bullied at points in my life. So for me, I can definitely say that I look at it differently, and I always find it interesting that the bully never seems to think it was a big deal, even for her to say, like, I'm not saying she was a bully because she's now saying they were cool in high school, but obviously they probably weren't as cool as she thought they were, because bullies always think they're your best friends. They just bully you, and it's an inside joke between you and them, and it's not really a joke. It's just a nigga, you're a bully. I don't think they get it, but it is what it is. But I was gonna say, people pretty much said, well, see, this is why he don't date black women. And I'm like, no, that's corny. That in itself, if that was his reason, I get why he's doing it, but that's kind of like weird. The way I look at it is like this: if I love pizza, right, and I get very bad treatment from a pizza spot that I frequent, does that mean I never eat pizza again in my life? Or do I go to a different pizza spot and get pizza from somewhere else, and it is what it is? So the way I look at it is like, if you're into black women, a lot of black men need to stop assuming that African American black women are the only black women in the world. They're not. I don't even think they make up 15 to 20% of all black women in the world. America's big, but it doesn't make up the whole world. There's a lot of people out here. So I think, one, you can travel, meet other women. Also, you have to look at who you're meeting. You're meeting hood rats. So, no offense, but Newark, New Jersey is the hood. Chances are, not all, but majority of the women that come out that area have a certain mindset. They like a certain type of men, and they have a certain just way of thinking overall. So, of course, any man that's not a criminal, a drug dealer, a shooter, a killer, you ain't been in jail. If you want to check any of them miscellaneous dumbass boxes for them, you will be corny to them. And I don't feel like people like that you should even argue with. If somebody told me having one leg is cool, and to be cool you have to chop off your leg, and that's the only way that you can join the cool club, I just wouldn't join the club. So I feel like a lot of us need to take a different approach in it and just understand that these people are really like, I wouldn't say slow, but they're like slow. They just don't know no better. And some of them think they're still in high school and they be like 40, 30, just still thinking that he's the cornball when she's the one on the red carpet interviewing him for his sold out movie, his box office movie. She's on the red carpet acting like a bird, trying to tell him how they were best friends in high school and tell the camera, oh, we go way back. So I get why he checked her, because it's like, no, we don't. And even if we do, obviously, they weren't friends because he knows who she is based off how he reacted. And nothing about his body language, like welcoming, like, hey, how you been? If I'd seen somebody I knew from high school, I would dab him, oh shit, we went to the same school, da da da. She had to bring it up. And even when she brought it up, he was like, yeah, okay. Like, he didn't care at all. So it's his body language was telling in how he reacted to it. The fact that he really didn't want to speak to her. He just pretty much was giving her the cold shoulder the whole time. I just think a lot of us need to understand that, especially as black men, and I really want to emphasize this for black men. You have to understand that the world is a really big place, and the neighborhood you live in on the scale compared to how big the world is, how big the city or state you live in is very small in comparison. And I know it seems like it's the whole world now, and your high school is your whole world, and you're trying to make sure you look cool to these people. But I would just say, even if you are going to do certain things that might not be the best, I would advise it against it. But I would just say, understand that a lot of the stuff that's being seen as corny now, I wouldn't even say you have to wait and then one day it won't be corny, because I know everyone hears that, oh, in 10 years. Most people don't want to wait 10 years. So I'll give you even this advice. Understand that what's corny in one area is not corny in another area. For example, I grew up in the hood. I didn't grow up in good areas, but I skateboarded. I was like one of those kids skateboarded in the hood. That's corny, nigga. That was me. Rip slicking, rollerblading. I'm surprised they didn't shoot my dumbass. But luckily, thank God, all the drug dealers was cool. To me, again, my experience growing up in these areas, most people don't fuck with you if you're not about that life. If they know you're not about that life and you openly say, I'm not about that life, they leave you alone. Most niggas ain't trying to just bully people all day. Now, if you're in one of the neighborhoods, I don't got no advice for you. Those are just lame niggas that don't want to go push up on somebody that's about that life. I feel like if you're a street dude, go do stuff to other street people. Why are you out here messing with a skateboarder when you tote guns? Go mess with other people that tote guns, and y'all could shoot at each other and leave me alone. So for me, my experience was the drug dealers in my neighborhood was cool. They was buying this ice cream. They was cool as shit. They was telling us stay out the streets. The same for you. And I was like, yes, you're right. It's not for me. Thank you. We were both on the same page. So I didn't really get the experience of being tormented. Now, of course, I had it hard. People made fun of me. People clown me. But I just don't look at it with that much anger. Maybe some people hold on to it, but honestly, I don't, because I just feel like I always knew they were dumb. Even then, when they were making fun of me for certain shit, I always knew they were dumb. Like, it was people like making fun of me for the weirdest stuff, like, you ain't never been in enough fights, or, oh, you ain't never been to jail. I've been clowned for not going to jail. So you have to understand the mindset of those people. That's like a surfer. Let's say you guys are all surfing, and they're like, yo, you're a bitch ass nigga. You've never been bit by a shark. You've never been attacked by a shark. You ain't about that life until you're attacked by a shark. People like that, you have to understand, they're mentally off. So when you're in the hood, you're dealing with a lot of people that, it's not that everybody in the hood is dumb. It's just a low vibration people. Because no offense, there's a reason why generations and generations of them are still there, and no one's broken that generational curse of finances and gotten them out the hood. There's a reason why his great grandmother lived in that neighborhood, his mother lived in that neighborhood, he lived in that neighborhood, and chances are he's gonna have kids in that neighborhood and die in that neighborhood. There's a reason for that. It's not because they're free thinkers and outwardly smart people. It's something that keeps you there in those environments for long periods of time. Like, we came to this country in 2002, lived in the hood for a couple of years, probably like 10, if I want to say, probably like 10, who knows. And then we moved to a house, like, or we moved to a different neighborhood, which was a house. But even if you don't move to a house, you can move to a different neighborhood. So you have to understand the mindset of people that stay in the hood for years, when their great grandmother lived there, they lived there, their mama lived there. It's just, and they want to have their kids there. There's a mindset to that, and you have to understand that those type of people are just people you should just quietly laugh at and not really take too seriously, and just understand that, again, being a cornball in the black community is really a compliment, because literally that means you've never been to jail. Chances are you don't have no kids, because they think having kids is like lit. Just you be 15 with 5 different baby mamas, and that's like, yo, he's a lit nigga. No, bro, no. So just understand that, again, if you've ever been called corny by anyone, whether somebody making fun of you, people you went to school with, people you grew up in the hood with, just understand that that's a small minority of people that think like that, and just hope and pray that very soon, hopefully you're old enough to understand that you can move one day. And even if your mom doesn't have the mindset, because some of us come from these type of messed up individuals that birthed us, and if you're smart enough to think outside the box where you don't think like them, you will be seen as corny. But one day you will be able to move out, you will be able to meet like-minded individuals that don't think like them, and just act like you don't know them. When you see them pushing a stroller and you have a nice car and you've lived and made your money, did what you need to do, just downshift and blow past their ass, because that's life. They're going to be where they are. Their kids are going to be where they end up, and that's just the way life goes. So I wouldn't tell anybody to really hold any animosity to anybody that made fun of you or called you corny, because the end, I was definitely called different names and lame and all this type of shit. But life goes on, and most of the people, again, that calls you those things, bro, when you look at the way their life turns out, it's never the way you would have wanted your life to turn out. So by that definition, if being corny is having a nice life, making money, having wealth, I'll be corny all day. I don't need friends, especially in this community, in the black community. I love black people, I love black women, but you gotta understand, some of us are just messed up in the head, and you can't save them, you can't help them. It just is what it is. So the whole corny stuff, understand that. Again, I know I'm being long-winded, and I apologize for that. I would just say, understand that it's just a mindset, and as long as you change the vibrations in which you're thinking, you're always going to seem corny to the people that aren't at that place or at that wavelength. You're just going to be off to them. It's just like anything in the world. So, hey, if that's corny, please be corny and keep being corny. And please let me know if you've been called corny at all at any point in your life, for what, and where did you grow up as well. I would love to know that. I grew up closer to DC, so because I wasn't a street nigga, you know how that goes. It is what it is, though. But let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching my video.